All right, so hopefully you've got a couple of experiments here built out. You've created good hypotheses using some real numbers, and maybe you've linked out to an external Google document where you're kind of mapping out the different stages of the experiment. And hopefully you have decided on some really quick wins, some really quick tests to see if the experiment's even worth running, so you can then invest some time in it. The next step before you run these experiments, there's still a couple things that I want you to do, and that's to sort of check with yourself on what your expectations are and to see what the value of these campaigns are going to be. So I've just got some examples here, but if you go to the program spend and conversion tab, you'll see I've got the different channel here listed for each thing, each traction channel, and then you can actually should put the test here. So for content marketing, it might be this series on growth. And then you put a proposed budget. So this includes software subscriptions that I have on a monthly basis. So this Outlook here only covers really a month, but it should show me, okay, so if I spend 300 bucks and I drive 5,000 people to my site, and of that I get 200 leads, then that results in 10 demos with 5 proposals and 2 customers. This is the cost per lead, and this would be the cost per customer. So I'm not. These are just random hypotheses numbers that I threw down. Community building would be like SGHC directory. It really doesn't cost me that much money because I built it myself. This is how many visitors, how many signups I think we can get. We actually are already blowing these numbers away. And then this will show you the cost per lead and the cost per customer. So basically you want to map that out for each thing that you're doing. So business development, again, this is just my time. I just did a really quick test. So, cold email company X. I'm just making that one up here just as an example. But basically, you're going to want to take the different, you probably only have 3 in here at a time, put down how much you're spending. And then this says, okay, totally monthly spend, $700. This may be much larger than that for you. And then you'll get the total number of leads, demos, proposals, and new customers. And it shows you the average cost per lead and average customer. And then the next step is to go to people spend. And then this is where you can start putting, okay, what's the employee, what's the salary, how much money are they? So this kind of gives you a monthly spend for sales and marketing. So once you have that mapped out, this kind of can, at least it's kind of a planning tool and a modeling tool to help you sort of figure out what numbers would make sense to hit. And you can go to the summary table, and we've put in, okay, if a monthly subscription is $1,000, if that's how much we think we can make per month off each customer, and we have an average growth margin of 20%, and maybe your return rate is 10%. These are just hypotheses that we're creating. Then it will generate a LTV to CAC, so lifetime value to CAC ratio, and it needs to be greater than 3, and tell you how many months you'll pay back. My business, we're totally bootstrapped, so I'm trying to be as profitable as possible from the beginning, and so these are some of the numbers that I would want. I think they're probably a little unrealistic, to be honest, but basically, this is just a way for you to you want to try and be as realistic as possible, and it's a way for you to kind of, in a month, if you're going to do this level of experiments for a month, see how much MRR you'd have at the end of the day if you were really successful in achieving these goals. So I probably go back and adjust some of these numbers so they make a little bit more, they might be a little more realistic. And then as you go through and actually validate these numbers, then you're going to go back and change this stuff so that it actually represents the real values. So if you're already an established business and you already know your pricing, this is going to be more accurate. If you're just coming out of beta maybe, or you're just getting your first customers, this may need to be adjusted significantly based on what the market's willing to pay. But this does give you a good idea, at least like kind of back of the napkin. Will this make sense if I actually spend the money I'm going to spend to run these experiments? And that's important. You don't want to just blindly go run experiments without thinking about the financial impact that it will have on your business. Then the last thing, and this all just kind of gets calculated for you, is just sort of the value, sort of the reverse funnel math for each cost per lead for each channel, and the different steps, the value of the different steps of customers in each level as well, where in the funnel, so visitor, signups, demo, proposal to actual customer. So that shouldn't take too long for you to fill out. Now, once you guys get this done, you're going to have a complete sort of playbook of what experiments you need to run, and this is going to serve as a tracking tool that you're going to want to keep actually updating every month. So one thing that I like to do is I take the title here, and I might write like April or March 2017, and this is where we keep all of our data for that month. And then I make another copy and I do July or April, June, July. I keep going month over month. And it just serves as a picture of all the experiments that I've run, and ends up being, once you've discovered that repeatable process for acquiring customers, then you can then turn it into a playbook that you can start hiring people to run. So again, I hope this is really helpful. This tool is totally available for everybody here. Any feedback or edits or things that you think we can do to make it more useful will be much appreciated. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, if this was useful, please share it with your friends. And as always, let me know if you have any questions or ideas. Thanks so much for taking the time, and hope to hear from you soon.